Hello everyone. So today I'll be speaking about how non-EU people can study in Germany for almost free. So I'll do a little introduction about me. I'm recently doing the Studienkolleg here in Germany. I'm in the first semester. I currently have the B1 German, and I would like to share a bit about my experience about applying, how is life in Germany, how you can go to university here for almost free or for a very low price. And when I say almost free, I'm referring to the university tuition, not the whole process of moving to Germany, studying here, finding an apartment, everything. This of course is very costly. And also I want to do a little disclaimer that even if you have your tuition completely free here in Germany, you most likely will have to have your blocked account. And as far as I can see now, in 2026 is around 11,904 euros for the first year. So that's a lot of money, but within this price there's a lot of things that are included. For example, in some cities you can actually live with this amount of money for the whole year, but to be honest, you have to live in like an extreme budget day-to-day life. Like you have to share your apartment, live in a WG and all these things, but it is possible. I'll definitely say that this amount is referring to the minority of cities in Germany, most likely the small ones that not so many people want to go to, but yeah, it is possible. Okay, so there are basically two ways that you can go to university in Germany, not being from the EU. You can either go through direct access. So for example, if you are living in Latin America and you have an Abitur or a Fachabitur, you can definitely apply direct to universities. And also if you have IB, which is this international baccalaureate, and also I'm checking here, some unis have the possibility of accepting you if you have British GCE A levels or Cambridge pre-U certification. So in this video I'll be focusing more in the possibility of bachelors, because I know that it's harder to find a bachelor in English for a very low cost in Germany than a master's. Masters are way easier to find in English options. So if you want to do a bachelor in Germany in English, I highly suggest you go into this website that I'll put it here. This website shows very trustworthy institutions, because there's this thing in Europe that there are a lot of scam private universities that just want to attract international students so they can get their visa. The universities get their money, and it's a very big problem. I highly suggest, if you're thinking about applying to university in Germany, or if you're ready in this process, that you're already paid, ready to go to Germany in the next days, I highly encourage you to check if this university that you paid for, that you're thinking about going, is accredited. That's extremely important. There are so many fake universities out there, and it's actually a very mean business. Also, I cannot say about the other countries in Europe. This video will be more niche to Germany, because that's where I have more knowledge about. So in Germany, a very good indicator that your university is safe, it's accredited, like you're good to go, you have a recognized diploma, is if the university is a state university. So if it's a public university. Of course, there are also very good private universities in Germany, but you just need to be careful and check the reviews, check on Reddit what the students that just graduated are talking about. Accreditation is very important for this. I've also studied in a private university in Switzerland, and that was a non-recognized university in Switzerland. And I discovered while I was writing the course that this university was not recognized in Switzerland. So maybe I can even make a video about it, but that's a very sensitive topic, so just make sure that your university is accredited. If it's a state university, if it's a public one, you're good to go. And if it's a private one, just check on ANABIN, on DAAD, check if it's accredited, check people that already graduated. Yeah, very, very important, because I've seen some horror stories on Reddit, and yeah, it's just very frustrating when you invest so much in your education, and after you have your diploma and you went to such a long process and you study so much that you can end up in a university that is not recognized, and most likely you will not be able to work in the country. Pay attention in that, because that's really important. Especially, I would say, like, certificates and diplomas are very important for Germans. And yeah, well, better to be safe than sorry, so do your research. And yeah, Reddit is your best friend when looking for universities. Honestly, I just love this word, you know. I wish I wish I knew back in time, but it's okay. Okay, so the first option I will show is for English trustworthy bachelors in Germany for a very low price. I'll also be showing options that are a bit more costly, just in case it's an area that you really want to go and you're okay in investing a bit more of money. Again, the options that I will be showing are very trustworthy because they are in this website here that is recognized by the German government, so you're good to go. I think I'll just screen record what I'm doing. I think it will be easier to understand. Okay, so now I'll show you how you can find your Bachelor of Preference in English through the DAAD website. And I have a subscriber that wrote to me, and I will use her as an example for this video. So she said, "Hi Bea, I'm a junior 11th grade living in California, USA. I'm an Indian immigrant and I want to apply to colleges in Germany to major in mechanical engineering. I just started learning German and I watch your YouTube videos. That helped a lot. Thank you very much." Okay, so first you need to go to daad.de, and then you gotta search for international programs. Using the example of lovely subscriber, she wants to do a bachelor in, she did not mention, she said that she's learning German, but I will just I'll put English here so you can have an idea how it is. And she said she wants to do mechanical engineering, so you click here, and then you can already see that are 85 options for you. That's amazing, huh? So you click search, and then you can see here that you have the opportunity to go to Berlin, Hochschule Ingolstadt, and as you can see here, there's a tuition fee in Ingolstadt that is 800 euros per semester, but you can adjust all of those tuitions in this. So there's this filter here on the left bar of the website, and you can see here tuition fee, and then you can choose no fees, and then it will load again, and you can see all the bachelor options for engineering science in English only. And then you have all those options. You can also search by location, for example. If you wanna, for example, there are a lot of options in this location here. And in order to have more information about each program, you just gotta click on this title. And then you can see here the application deadline, very important. The tuition fee per semester, you can see it's none. And one of the most important things that you have to check is the requirements. So you check right here, requirements, and here you have academic admission requirements, language requirements. I highly suggest you to enter in those websites and really have a look and really have a deep read into this page where they explain better about international students application. Okay, so now going back in the DAAD platform, you can have an overview, but I highly encourage you to go to their website and also email. They always put the responsible contact right here on the right upper part, so I highly encourage you to also send an email just to make sure all the informations here are updated. And yeah, that's how it is. Easy peasy. Bye. And if you want a challenge in your life and you're learning German and you want to study in German, there are much more opportunities for you to have an almost tuition-free bachelor. The path that I will be emphasizing in this video is through the Studienkolleg, which is the path that I'm doing. So the Studienkolleg is basically a preparatory course to go to university for foreigners, like specifically for non-European people. And who can do the Studienkolleg? Anyone. That's great. Anyone, but as always in Germany, we have some exceptions. So for the Studienkolleg, what you need basically is a B1 or B2 German certificate and your high school leaving certificate. There's a website called uni-assist, and in this website you have information about this whole process. I'll be breaking down the details but they have all explained there. So if you're thinking about doing this going through this path of the Studienkolleg, I'll highly recommend you go to the uni-assist website. There's a tab that says information by country, so you check your country. I think I'll also do a screen recording for this because I think it's a bit more easy to see. Hello everyone, here I am again. Okay, so now I'll show you how to check the requirements for your country specifically on uni-assist. So first, all you gotta do is enter in the uni-assist website. You can choose the English here to be in English. Then you go on tools, information country by country. And then you go right here. I will choose India as the example from the previous email. And oopsie. And here you can see all the documents that you need to prepare in order to apply for a university in Germany through uni-assist. There are some universities that you can apply that don't require uni-assist, but now I'll just be talking about uni-assist specifically. So for example, for India, you need this certificate X+2. Okay, so for India, you need your school living certificate, the grading system of your higher secondary school, GEE main and advanced results, your APS certificate from the Academic Evaluation Center, and also you have the possibility to apply through university instead of high school, which was what I did. Oh, and very important to say, notes on official certification. In India, you may have your document officially certified in 2 ways, by a notary or by the issuing university, and all certification must include a stamp in English or German. And then you can have a look here on assemble your documents. They also have a step-by-step plan here in uni-assist. Okay, so the step-by-step is right on their first page. You just go down. And then you can see here, but it's in German, wait. Okay, so the uni-assist step-by-step is right on their front page. You can just go down. And then you click here, find out more. And then you go all the way down to the page. And then you click apply 6 steps. And then you have this very long PDF where you can find all the information. But basically, for example, if you're from India, you choose India, and then they will say specifically for India which types of documents you need to provide in order to apply for the Studienkolleg. Some typical language certificates for German that they accept are the DSH, the TestDAF, and Goethe. And you also, for mostly, I'm not sure for all of them, but I would say for most Studienkollegs, you also need English certificate. A B1 English certificate is also necessary. I'm currently finishing my first semester in the Studienkolleg, and I honestly cannot recommend more, because basically everything that I'm seeing now in the Studienkolleg that the Germans are supposed to have seen in their high school, like all the subjects and everything, like 90% of this I never saw in my school. So if I would go directly from my school in Brazil to university in Germany in German, oh my god, it will be, how can I say this in soft words, extremely challenging, because the Studienkolleg for me is being extremely difficult. I've passed the first semester. Lord Jesus, I just discovered that I'm passed. I'm very happy. It is hard, my god, it is hard, but also very important. Like things that I'm learning now, I'm in the business economics course, in this preparatory course for university. I have friends in university that are also learning now, so it's very good, and it can be free. That's just amazing. When I say free, I mean school tuition free, not completely free. You do need to pay what they call here Semesterbeitrag, and that value per semester can be up to 400 euros, 400 being extremely expensive. I think in Marburg is like around 400. But a very good thing that is included in your Semesterbeitrag is the transportation. The public transport with our lovely Deutsche Bahn that does not work every time, but I mean, you really pay a very good price for what you have after all, because in the Studienkolleg I have classes almost every day from 8 until 3 I would say. I have almost 6 hours of classes every day. Some days less than that, but I mean, in an average, it's like this. I really recommend going through Studienkolleg, especially if you want to stay in Germany after your studies. Like, it's really important to know the language. So you might as well just go through the hardest part in the beginning of your journey. And talking about a price perspective, when you're going to university, I know that the only place where they charge like almost 1,500 for foreigners students is the state of Baden-Württemberg. So if you're looking for more budget-friendly options, I'll just keep these states that are Studienkollegs in all Germany. Not all the states have one, but I'll put a link here of all the state Studienkollegs that you can search. Maybe have a preference for a specific state, but of course the biggest cities are the hardest ones to get into. So you also have to have this in mind. And for Studienkollegs, they also have the option of private and public. Again, I'll be very cautious with the private ones. I know that are some that are good ones and reliable, but everyone that I speak about Studienkollegs, they always tell me not to go to private ones. So yeah, I never actually looked into the private ones because it was never an option. They would be like plan Z, but they are very, very expensive. So yeah, I'm happy I got into a public one. And about a Studienkolleg, is also very important to say that they are divided in 5 subdivisions. So we have the G course for humanities subjects, S course for linguistic subject, W course for social and economic science subjects, T course for technical, scientific and mathematics subjects, and M course for medical and biological subjects. Another important thing to mention is that in the Studienkolleg, they separate you if you're going to university or if you're going to Fachhochschule, if you're going to university or University of Applied Science. Basically in English, that's what it means. I was studying the school system in Germany, and it's just fascinating because they divide the kid in these subdivisions, and it's extremely complex, but now I understand better why the Studienkollegs are divided like this. So the courses that I've just mentioned are for Universität, so university, and you can also do the Studienkollegs to go to a Fachhochschule, which I think, I'm not sure about this, I think they're considered like easier to get, and I think those are the ones that you need to have B1 instead of B2, but it's not a rule. It's just what I remember from my applying phase. For the Studienkolleg for Fachhochschulen, you have the same, but they write a bit funny. So you have TI course for technical engineering subjects, WW course for economic science subjects, which is the one I'm doing, GD course for artistic subjects, and SW course for social science subjects. And for the Studienkolleg, you can either choose to apply through uni-assist or you can choose to apply directly to those Studienkollegs. So if you need to go through uni-assist, this process is a bit more complex, but if you have all the documents ready to go, it's very smooth. You may need what they call VPD, which is a preview, which is like a preliminary review documentation. And it basically says how uni-assist evaluates your school documents. So yeah, this document will say a lot about which universities you can apply or which universities you cannot apply. After you have this VPD, you need to check the information that says country by country in uni-assist to check exactly what documents you need to give to uni-assist. So for each country is different. And you also need to have your documents certified by a court-certified translator, and make sure you have certified copies of all your student documents that are described in the country-by-country page on uni-assist. And in uni-assist, you need to create an account. You also need to pay a fee for applying. When I applied, I think it was 75 euros. After you pay uni-assist, they reply to you within 6 weeks. So this process can take from 4 to 6 weeks. So I really recommend, if you want to go to Germany, to check all those documents as soon as possible, because uni-assist takes a long time checking everything, because a lot of students. So yeah, basically once uni-assist will reply to you, they will say if there are lacking documents, and or if everything's alright, and then you're good to go. And it's important to mention that you also need to be up to date with the deadlines of the university, not only uni-assist deadline, so university deadline. And yeah, after you have all your documents ready to go, you'll be able to do your Aufnahme test, which is the test that you have to do in order to go to the Studienkolleg, which is the preparatory course for university. I also have a video how I prepare for this test here. I will leave the link down below. And when you pass the Aufnahme test, then you can start your Studienkolleg. But that is not over yet. You still have one more test to do, which is called the Feststellungsprüfung. This test you do at the end of your preparatory course. Normally lasts 1 year. There are some that are 6 months, but most of them are 1 year. And then at the end of your Studienkolleg year, you do the Feststellungsprüfung. And the grade that you have to apply for the university you want in Germany will be the average of your high school grade and your FSP grade. So yeah, Germans really love a good evaluation. Once I finish the FSP and I passed and everything, I can come back here and tell a bit more about the process of applying again for university, because this long process is not over. There's always something. There's always a deadline. There's always a test to do. But yeah, I'll definitely come back here and explain how I did. And if you're learning German now, I highly encourage you to go through Studienkolleg, because it definitely prepares you very, very well for university. I mean, I'm suffering a bit because I would say, like, even the Studienkollegs that ask for a B1, you need to have a B2, you know, like, in order to understand everything, go well in the exams. To be honest, I would recommend going with the C1. Then you're almost stress-free for your Studienkolleg years. Let me know if you have any questions about this process, but I promise you it's super worth it. So thank you for watching. If you want to know more about academic German life in Switzerland, academic German life, just subscribe. And if you have any video ideas that you'd like me to talk about it, that's also highly appreciated. Bis bald!